Hi everyone. I'm usually a backpacker and I spend my time in different locations exploring the area. Not this time though. This time I'm looking for a place to relax and maybe to play a little bit. My destination on this trip is a small fishing village of Hikkaduwa on the southwest coast of the island nation of Sri Lanka. If you've ever wanted to go scuba diving in the morning, surf in the afternoon, and maybe watch a sunset on the beach in the evening, then Hikkaduwa could be the place for you. I'm Ken Curtis, and I've been to over 60 countries, and not many compared to this island getaway. So stick around if you've ever wanted to spend a week exploring this fun and beautiful location. There's a lot of great things about Sri Lanka, but getting around the country can be a little bit slow, especially when you land in Colombo, the capital, and are going to another city. Taxis and tuk-tuks are the most common method, and in my opinion, nothing really makes me feel like a true traveler than a good tuk-tuk ride. My trip from the airport to the hotel was only about 100 kilometers away, but it took about 5 hours. There are a lot of reasons to head to Hikkaduwa, but for me, I think the water and the beaches are the biggest reason. There's nothing quite like stepping out of your hotel room onto the beach early in the morning. My favorite time is right after sunrise when the water is flat, the beach is empty of people, except for maybe that lone runner, and a big plus if there's mist in the air. I was staying on the beach. Seriously, my room was about 20 meters away. I could leave my room, and in about 20 steps, I would be wiggling my toes into the sand. And where I was staying, the beach was clean, the sand was bright, and the water was very warm. To make it even better, there was enough of a tourist vibe for lots of things to do, but not so many people that I felt overwhelmed, like some of the places I've been to before. Like most areas that cater to tourists, all along the beach there are restaurants, small clothing shops, and places to learn how to surf. Or if you wanted, you could rent a surfboard. I wouldn't say that surfing is big there, but on most days there was usually a small group of surfers that would come together to catch some waves. I don't know how many were regulars or how many were tourists, but some of them had some real skill. There was this young kid that must have been a regular, and by his skill level, you could tell that he had spent some time surfing. To be that good, he must have learned when he was like 10 years old. Who knows though, maybe he was a natural and he just picked the board up that day. Other than surfing, people were doing almost everything that you can imagine. Some were flying kites, some were running, some laying in the sun, and I even saw a girl doing a hula hoop. But the smart people, the people like me, went body surfing. I really like playing in waves, and on this trip I had a new GoPro camera to help me record my fun in the water. I don't know what I was thinking though, because nearly all the footage is so shaky that it's nearly unwatchable. I guess I just thought I could fix it later. You know, there are great beaches all over the world, and for me to say that the ones in Hikkaduwa are the best would be an overstatement. I will say that the beaches at Hikkaduwa are some of the best and I will never forget. I learned how to dive a long time ago back in the States. Since then, there haven't been too many times that I've had the opportunity to go again. That's not exactly true. I'm not a confident diver, so I'm not one of those people that will dive every chance they get. I only dive when I really want to. I love the experience of being in the water and diving, but I'm very nervous before I go. This means that there are a lot of times that I would end up talking myself out of going. Before I left for Hikkaduwa, I made myself a promise that I would dive at least once while I was there. I had so much fun on that first dive that I ended up going for another. In fact, if it wasn't at the end of my week there, I probably would have gone again. I decided to spend the day in Gaul. So I jumped into a tuk-tuk. Just the name sounds like fun, tuk-tuk. And I headed to the city that's about 20 kilometers away. Gaul is known for being a big tourist draw, mostly because of the old Dutch architecture. There's an old fort that is really interesting too, but I think that the narrow streets and the old European feel was probably the best for me. I don't know why though, I only took photographs and didn't take any video of the city. As I was wandering around, I walked by a snake charmer sitting against a wall in the shade. To be honest, when I saw charmers in Morocco, we were told that they did some really awful things to the snakes, like sew their mouths shut. I don't know how this guy in Gaul treated his snakes, but I still was mesmerized by his act. The funny thing was I was the only one there, and he didn't seem to want any money. I guess maybe it's just his hobby? On a side note though, that poor monkey. I like animals, and when I see a monkey act like that monkey did, I feel so bad. I've been to many countries where fishing still bears a resemblance to more traditional times, and I'm always kind of stunned on how much work they do to bring in the fish. Sri Lanka is no different. All along the beach, there are boats pulled up on the shore during high tide and end up sitting about 50 meters from the water at low tide. In the mornings, there's usually a few boats that are being pushed out to sea, and one time I even got to help. I was just walking along the beach when this guy that seemed to be in charge waved me over and gestured for me to give a push. Even though he didn't give me a choice, I really did enjoy the experience. One of the more interesting places was a river inlet where many, if not most of the boats were kept when not out working. There were so many boats jammed into this small area, it's a wonder that anyone could get out at all. It really does look cool though, that there are so many boats that they almost blur into one big mass. Some of the footage that I have of the fishermen is a boat heading out to sea. There are maybe 6 guys on board, but there's this one guy that sits in a chair that looks like it was brought from home and strapped to the mast. Safety concerns aside, I really want that guy's job. On my last morning in Hikkaduwa, I was filming some stuff when I heard a commotion and saw a group of people walking towards the water. Never wanting to be left out, I decided to follow along. What I saw were some guys pulling a net up that had been laid out close to shore. The net was long, and it took some work for them to finally bring the whole thing onto the beach. There was maybe 20 kilograms of fish in the net. I have no idea if that's a good or bad or a typical haul. Thanks for taking the time to watch my video. My usual videos are less than 5 minutes, but I had so much fun and so many great clips that I had a hard time keeping to that. Who knows, maybe this video might be the incentive for you to go if you've never been. Let me know if you're considering it. If you have been to Sri Lanka, I want to hear what your thoughts are on the country. Let me know if you spent your time in Hikkaduwa, Colombo, Kandy, or did you go all around? If you liked this video, please hit the like button and remember to subscribe and tick the notifications too if you want to watch my new videos. I've been living abroad and traveling the world since 2007, and I'm just now trying to make some of my experiences into movies. A lot of my older video is low quality, so I don't know what I'll do about those. But my current best guess is I have about 10 more videos to make before I'm done. Thanks again, and I hope you come back to watch my next video.